Welcome! Hi! Stick around for a while as this video is quite special to me. I have 3 reasons why I did this, but I'll start with the simplest one. This video is for me, mostly. It's kind of a video idea for me to do next year as well, because I can revisit this video and react to it, see if I achieved any of my New Year resolutions, and quite possibly disappoint myself for having not achieved any of them so far. Second, I have to do this early because I know I am forgetful, and forgetful enough to forget about doing this. So if I'm making it early, I might as well upload it early on a schedule instead. Yes, I know I could have scheduled it instead of premiered it, but I have my thoughts and reasons, and it relates to the last reason, which is a bit complicated, but I'll walk you through this, alright? I'll literally tell you the lore, the backstory, not really, just overall a story of how my channel came to be and my current intentions with my channel. I've actually had this channel for quite some time now, and I used to make videos back then that were on 2 mobile games. The videos I made before aren't something I could take pride in, retrospectively speaking. I made them all on a Note 2 Samsung phone and later on a J7 Prime as well. I started the channel primarily because I wanted somewhere to archive my favorite moments with some online friends in those mobile games, or rounds where I felt like I was the shit, while also being something like a form of creative outlet. Like whenever I was stressed for whatever reason as a kid, I basically told myself to shut up, make this video instead. And I do look back on those memories thinking, surely I had better things to vent out that frustration, right? I wasn't able to get a picture of what my channel used to look like. I'm sure some of y'all can work your magic somehow with the Wayback Machine, but take it from me, I absolutely am not proud of those videos back then. What's funny as well was around the start of junior high school, I basically burnt myself out playing those games because they started to feel boring to me. Not that I was so good that competition was hard to come by. It's more so about the fact that I was spreading myself too thin, focusing on a lot of shit. I had to sacrifice my time spent on making these videos for my education, social life, and so I left my channel in the dust for a bit. Then one day I got curious about my channel that was collecting dust, and I watched a few videos and cringed so hard that I deleted all of them. They were, in every sense of the word, cringe. It genuinely feels like having an emo phase in my life. That was the closest I could describe the feeling. Just looking back on it kind of brings this sense of embarrassment, if you get what I'm saying. But despite having deleted those videos now, it wasn't like I didn't have fun with making those videos. I do remember myself smiling a bit when editing the videos in KineMaster and making thumbnails with my phone. Truthfully, I fell in love with the process of making these videos because I don't know, I just liked it. But admittedly, something definitely didn't feel right. I definitely hated that at the time that there were stuff I wanted to try out when it came to the video editing and photo editing, but I couldn't do them. Even if I tried, it would be a quarter of what I wanted it to look like. It's not just the editing side of it. I wanted to play the same games the YouTubers I watched played as well. Then I found out they were playing with a console or a PC, and that pretty much disheartened me that I can't play those games myself because all I had was just a phone. I did have a laptop, but it barely could even run Genshin. Actually, I vividly remember Dragon Spine dropping my frame so long as I was somewhat close to it. What more if I played Genshin on it right now and I went to Sumeru's desert? Anyway, so I told myself, once I get myself a better laptop or maybe even a PC if possible, maybe I'll start doing it again. So a couple years went by after having said that, slaving away in my academics, and eventually I got a PC. It's still the same thing I'm using while making the script. I don't know if in a few months if I'll still be using this thing, but it certainly does the things I've been wanting to do. Then I think it was like the summer before I entered my last year in high school that I said, one last push and I'll be graduating, but it's going to be a bitch to push through. Right, I have a PC, I can do that thing now. And thus, the first video in a long time was made. I initially made these videos for three things. In case I have to work on a video project in school, I can handle that, no problem. I can practice video editing and photo editing while I'm at it, and it serves as my kind of therapeutic activity to calm my nerves. A lot of my stress came from getting my goddamn education, so something to vent out that stress is needed as my school started to pile on more shit to do and laying down expectations on my entire batch as a whole. Oh yeah, I guess part of it was because I saw the Multiverse Vistas event and I thought maybe I can get the prize. Turns out, not even by a long shot I could have gotten it. Anyways, I don't know how I tangented here and there, but back to the YouTube stuff. Eventually, I started thinking that I can't just make these videos just for the fun of it all, or distract myself from impeding bullshit deadlines. No. I want a goal. Well, why do I want a goal? Making these videos are a fun distraction, but I watch my own videos too, you know. I remember some dude commenting on a video a while back that some parts of my video was boring, and like, fuck yeah dude, I agree, but like, just to make sure, you thinking the same places of the video I thought was boring, right? Basically, I understand I have a long way to go until I am good at making videos on YouTube, so I want to get good at it. And what's an indicator that says your videos are worth watching? Ultimately, I know it's my satisfaction with the making of the video, but personally, I'm not a good judge of my own work. I might downplay or gas it up a bit too much, so along with my satisfaction with my videos, I should tie it with some numbers too. Something like view count? Maybe, but he gets 1 million every video these days, and does that mean his videos are worth watching for me? No. I never really liked his videos anyway. Likes? Definitely, but I find that it's possible that someone can like the video but forget about the fact that the like button is there, even if I say it. Or perhaps they're a little bit like me, I can get so immersed in watching the video, forget, and look for the next interesting thing to watch on the side. Subscribers, there are a couple of subscribers of mine who are just subscribed to 1,000 or more channels. I doubt they are actively watching me. Plus, again, we got some horrible people with 1 million or so subscribers up there, so it doesn't necessarily mean their videos are worth watching to me. But out of the three, I think subscribers are a good telltale sign that your videos are worth watching, because views and likes don't imply that people want to see more of your videos, but subscribers do. So, at the time, I had like 300 subscribers, and those subscribers came from when I was still making videos back then. And so, I thought, let's get 200 more to get up to 500 subscribers before the year ends. And I managed to do it somehow. I'm shocked myself. I actually thought I'll be stuck below 500, to be honest with you. And so, 2024 came. You know what my goal for the channel was? To reach 1,000 subscribers. From the first video to that video where I said my thanks for 500 subscribers, it took 175 days, well over just 5.5 months, give or take. I'm sure if you give me the entire year of 2024, I might just get 500 more to get 1,000 subscribers. I released my first Zen Zone Zero video, and I did not think it would even blow up, to be honest with you. So much so that I reached from 752 subscribers at the time to 1,000 after like a week the video was out. About 7 months have passed, and I got 1,000 subscribers already before the year ended. Well, granted, that's because the game came out, and when something new comes out, there's a lot of gaps to fill when it comes to content, and I have somehow baited 30,000 people to click on a video that's worth only about 10 to 30 seconds of their time. And the rest is just me playing the fucking game. And it seems some people were compelled to subscribe because of that. So yeah, that's something. Along with my surprise that after noticing my sub count reach 1,000, I also had another funny thought in my head. What if I can get myself up to 100,000, maybe a million? And I know! How up my own ass am I to think I could even reach 100,000 subscribers anyway? Shit, I must be fucking crazy to think I can get past the 1,000 range, actually. The goal. To even think about that in the first place is fucking crazy. Yeah, don't worry, I made sure to snap myself out of that and self-deprecate for a while about it. Plus, when I said this, it was merely curiosity, not a spark of a burning passion to be successful on YouTube. I mean, of course, I'd be a fool if I haven't thought about what it'd be like to be in the position of the YouTubers I like watching right now. Still, I can't just say shit like that in a sense that I'm betting all my chips in this. Inherently, I don't treat YouTube as if it's a business or fulfilling a noble purpose or with a burning passion. I make my videos because they're fun to make, and in a sense, it's my way to pay homage to those who gave me that much needed escape during tough times in my life. People who taught me that oftentimes in life you will have to take 1 or 2 steps back in order to make a leap. Or, in other words, sometimes you just need a break for most things in life. Everything that comes after that, like the amount of people who saw me poorly voice over missing voice lines in a video game, the number of people who subscribed to me, the people who've gone through the effort to tell me they liked or enjoyed the video, and even those who support me in keeping this up. All of it is a wonderful addition to the fun I'm already having making these videos. So if you enjoy watching my videos or putting my videos on to fill in the silence of an empty room, thank you. I'm happy to know that I'm worth your while. Even so, I think I want to see where this goes for the time being, but I'm not putting all my eggs in this basket. I'm making sure there's a safety net before anything else. Sorry, I'm stretching. And like, for crying out loud, I'm still young. I can't be making any rash decisions that either end my life young, or I die old, struggling just to survive a day. Anyhow, if you're in it with me for the long run, hit the subscribe button. I'm not built for that. Long story short, since this channel was made, I had other intentions with it, such as making videos as a way to let loose, and along the way, I started taking a liking to doing this for the fun of it. Oh yeah, in regards to premiering it, I'm treating this video a lot more special than most of what I've made thus far, because I don't really intend to upload videos that are about me, like the person beyond this talking soda avatar I made. I don't intend to make videos about me, and if I do, I most probably won't make a lot of it because I kind of like the fact that you know me up to whatever adjectives you'll use to describe who I am and what my logo is. Alright, so for my first New Year resolutions, it is to get into college. I did mention that I want to lay a safety net, and this is it. Sorry if you expected this list to be full of New Year resolutions that is wholly dedicated to developing my YouTube channel, but I got priorities. And my priorities say that if this shit doesn't do well enough, I might as well get a stable job while doing it. To be specific, I'm going to college in hopes that I can become an accountant, license, and all. I already feel some judgmental eyes, but let me say my piece on why I want to pursue accountancy, alright? I understand that it is seen as an office job, hence meaning that it can be routine, stress-inducing, and not necessarily physically demanding at times, in which I guess you can correlate physical activity to contribute to overall health, in which an office job doesn't necessarily provide. Even so, my primary reason to pursue accountancy is I am not cut out for STEM. What's unfortunate as well is the fact that my country seems to have a culture where we kind of look down at anyone who is in an ABM course, since I definitely got a lot of that when I enrolled as an ABM student in senior high. Later on though, they were wishing they were me. Ironically though, I did have an aspiration since I was a kid to be an engineer, specifically a civil engineer, because it was the same job my dad has. But I came to the realization just the year before I entered senior high that I'm just not cut out for the future lessons I'll have to learn to pursue that occupation. Sure, call me a fucking pussy all you want, but at the very least, I understood my limits. I looked at the lessons, especially the teachers, and I said, fuck no. So you could say me enrolling as an ABM student was more or less a gamble. Because I heard of an uncle of mine who is an accountant themselves receive free stuff from the company they work for, so for the most part, that's what I was banking on when I eventually graduate from senior high. So like the plan was to go into university to study accountancy, get a license, get a stable job for a company who has a hand in my personal hobbies and interests, then hopefully get a lot of free shit to indulge my personal hobbies and interests while getting a job done to ensure my livelihood. Yeah. 2 birds, 1 stone. Am I right? Then, yeah, eventually I had to learn ABM. And I actually had the opportunity to see for myself how accountants work in a hotel. Or I'm assuming this is how they do things if the business focuses on providing hospitality services. Admittedly, I'm thinking accountancy is a lot more complicated than it is, because I was more or less taken aback at the fact that none of the accountants I was under tutelage gave me any semblances of the lessons I learned at school, and it was more like, hey, so this is what we do this because of that. You got that? Same thing tomorrow. If you can, try and help out around here, alright? And frankly, I was very confused all the way to the finish, but part of me feels like accounting and other kinds of industries are starkly different, and I'm thinking they put me in the deep end because being an accountant for a hotel seems harder than being an accountant for, I don't know, an alcohol company. Conceptually, I feel like it's easier to be an accountant for certain types of businesses, so I'm following through in hopes that I'm wrong about how accounting seemed as complicated as it did for me. To certified accountants or auditors, tell me how absolutely stupid I am in making that assumption. I give you full authority to rinse the shit out of this. Anyways, I think along with that assumption earlier, where I want to know how accountancy is done in other industries, I'm giving props to my teacher who taught me about the basics of accountancy. He really did spark an interest inside of me to understand how businesses operate, and along with that, he did teach us some pretty cool stuff. One thing he taught my classmates and I was this tragedy of the commons. There's the link to the TED Ed video because I know I might not be able to explain this concept well enough, but it's fascinating to say the least, so I urge you to check it out yourself, alright? In regards to his teaching of accountancy, I feel like he subtly suggests in my head that if you are stuck trying to find that missing amount to balance everything, you'll get this sense of euphoria. If that was his intention, then he did it way too well. Because if that's the struggle of an accountant, or I guess this is more related to what auditors do, then I think I might like the job. It was a funny thought in my head after giving up on being an engineer that I might like being a forensic investigator, because if there's one constant about me as a person, I like puzzles. I like the high of knowing you just solved the misery. I like the high of knowing you just solved the mystery, or you finally have all the pieces of a puzzle in the correct places and you get to see the bigger picture, you feel me? And accounting, it just feels like you're trying to fit pieces together this entire time, and I like that. I'm sure I'm going to fucking hate it once I get to learning it eventually, but I hope to fucking god it stays that way. If I do hate it, I guess banking and finance will do. Anyway, that's my piece. I'll just carry on to the next New Year's resolution, which is to hopefully branch out my content. Now, technically, I have already branched out my content. It's these videos of me and my friends coming together to play games every once in a while. But if you look at my channel as it is right now, no doubt you'd think I'm a Hoyo creator, regardless of these videos. And that's the thing. I am not a Hoyo creator. And why is that? I'm aware of the benefits that come with signing up, but my main reason why I haven't is this. If I sign up, then that kind of labels me as someone who will exclusively make content on their intellectual properties. Now, I'm sure I'm exaggerating it, but it's the implication that I only make content for anything Hoyo that discourages me. And surely they allow their creators freedom to make anything else, but I just don't like having that label on me, especially when it comes to my channel. I love their games, don't get me wrong, but quite frankly, I'm making videos of me playing games, not making videos about the games themselves or what the makers of these games are doing. Because the way I'm making my videos right now are inspired by Let's Plays, Fontages, and other amalgamation of styles from the YouTubers I've watched over the years. These kinds of styles to make videos is kind of disadvantageous these days on YouTube, especially in my current niche, because if you don't produce something that ensures the website is constantly being interacted with, say by clicking on a video, watching a video all the way through, commenting on it, liking it, subscribing to the channel, then your videos will eventually phase out of people's recommendations. If you don't believe me, then you can go to your subscriptions tab, manage, and see that they sort the channels by relevancy of the kind of content you watch often recently. If you ever start to wonder what happened to your favorite YouTubers when you were younger and how you don't see their videos often, two things come to mind that can be blamed. Maturity and the recent shift in the algorithm to favor anything that gets people to stay on the platform. Never mind the fact that you can watch the most recently uploaded videos of your favorite creators. Most of the time, if you look at it in our perspective, this tab doesn't matter because there's always a risk that your videos will always be buried by other videos that maybe that person wants to see more of rather than going out of their way to look for your videos. If you want your content to be seen, then you play by what's being recommended to people often, meaning that you have to follow the trends, which videos are seen as good content. Good content meaning it gets people to stay on their platform. In my current niche, which are the Hoyo games, it is making videos about how to build and play this and that character, how to solve this puzzle, how to beat this boss. Wait, so you mean to tell me that there might be a chance for Cthulhu to be a playable waifu because they should be able to exist according to this game's lore? Wow, look how much money I spent playing a gacha game! And a lot of other stuff that I'm definitely not the channel you look for when it comes to these three games. I mean, no offense by the way, I watch these peeps for that exact reason anyway, and I sure do find their content fun too. If anything, if there are channels I can point to when it comes to deriving some inspiration to make the kind of videos I'm making, then it'd mainly be JKage, Rednacio, and Moga. The reason I point to these guys is mainly because they're the ones I'm looking up to right now when it comes to making my videos that are Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin, and Honkai Star Rail. And they're the ones whose content are reminiscent of the kind of videos I grew up with back in the day, where it's mostly watching someone for their experience with the game through their perspective. Anyway, essentially, rather than having you watch me because of this, and that, I'd rather have you watch my experience on what it's like to play the game. Again, I know part of the fun of the games is this, and that, but what I want to do with my content is to show you that whatever I'm doing is fun, even if it is just surface level at times. I think as a viewer or as someone looking from the outside, I think it puts a good impression on people that if whatever you're doing is fun, they'll probably try to have as much fun as you're having. But still, I don't want my channel to be all about playing the games I've been making videos on, because I treat this channel as an extension of myself and who I am. And who I am doesn't necessarily only like the 3 games I've made videos on. Who I am is someone who'll enjoy just about anything, to be honest with you. And believe me, I want to play other games and spread my silliness wherever possible. And that's the thing, I can't play other games and spread my silliness because what's possible for me to play at the moment are these 3 games. Again, I love the games I play, don't get me wrong, but as I'm writing this right now, these are the games I can play without worrying about money and performance issues. In another universe, I could have played Black Myth Wukong and recorded it, But sadly in this one, I'm broke. And my PC cannot run that shit. I considered making a Tekken 7 video, but then Tekken 8 came out. And my PC can't run that shit. Oh yeah, have I mentioned that we broke right now? Deadass. Valorant or CS2 montages were in the list, but I suck. Funnier, maybe even pitiful that I even thought about it. The League of Legends. I just quit Mobile Legends about 2 years ago, and I'd like half a decade to detox myself right now, but oh well. The best I can do right now is this new video idea that isn't me playing games though. It'll at least be the start of a new video series on my channel. And to briefly describe what this video series is all about, have you ever had a thought that you didn't need at the moment? That's essentially the foundation of this new video series, to be honest. It is heavily reliant on those unnecessary thoughts I get rarely though. And the problem is that I get it rarely. So it's probably a video every once in a while. Still, I hope y'all will like that video once it comes out, along with the other stuff I will hopefully branch out to in the future. Hopefully as well. Y'all will stick around then. I believe this is the third New Year's resolution. I want to double my sub count. I'd be lying if I didn't want to up these numbers, especially when I just said that I'd be a fool if I never thought about being as big as the people I watch. As of writing this, I have exactly 1,256 subscribers. I'm sure it's a tad bit different once I get to editing this, but it's there on the screen. The least I want to achieve is just a mere 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I mean, I can check my Social Blade numbers right now. I basically can get that much somehow, and that's the least I want to expect to be able to reach this year. I'm not gonna say something crazy like reaching 10,000 or 100,000 this year, because who the fuck do you take me for? I have aspirations and hopes to where I want this to lead me, sure, but like right now, 10,000 or 100,000 in a year, I mean, maybe, I don't know. People pop off every now and then, maybe I'll blow up. Who knows, I might be wrong about even reaching 2,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll be stuck below that number for whatever reason may be. Or hopefully, I might be wrong about reaching only 2,000 subscribers. One thing I do hope these days is to build an audience that keeps coming back to watch my videos, because as I said in the lore segment, I see subscribers as an indicator that tells me that my videos are worth watching. I don't really understand what compels me to make these videos, but if there is a chance in the world that I've somehow made someone forget about their troubles or worries for a moment and allow themselves to relax in order to have the energy to take the next steps in their life, then I'd say it's worth it to keep making these videos. If I've taught that dance to 1,000, I'll do it for 1,000 more. The next New Year's resolution I have is to hopefully monetize my videos. Knowing that I can do it eventually, then I might as well. I can use the money for college, or even for my family, but mainly, I do want to use the money for college. I can't rely on my parents forever to financially support me, or support me in general. They'll be gone one day, and it would be a sad day, but I've learned recently that when my grandpa passed away about a year ago, that if he saw me the way I could have been back then, I'd imagine that he'll be worried if I ever move on from that. If I could describe myself back then, I do remember one time I looked at myself in the mirror a day or two after the fact, and I remember vividly how I told myself how dead my eyes looked. And upon further reflection, I realized that when I heard about him being dead, I kind of felt like something else went with him, and that I felt empty. But I knew when I saw myself like that in the mirror that surely this is not the best way to honor his memory. That being the way that I saw myself that time was not in my grandpa's best interests. The best way to honor the dead is to promise their absence is no burden to the living. That's what I told myself, and I still live by that until now. I'd like to preface to anybody who does relate to what I'm talking about. It's okay to grieve and let it out every once in a while. I'm not saying you have to dull yourself to it, okay? But eventually, you have to keep living. It's gonna be a sad thought. It's a sad thought, I know, but for your own sake, live your own life however you can and however you want to. Holy shit, I'm sorry, I just realized that is so fucked up that I'm talking about this in the segment where I'm talking about monetization. That much is my fault, I will admit. But essentially, I don't want my parents to worry about me in the afterlife if their last memory of their son consists of not being able to provide for himself, alright? So, even if it means putting ads on my videos for even a couple cents, maybe putting up a membership thingamajig, a Patreon or somewhere, I don't know. This is basically my way of telling them that I'm doing just fine with YouTube money and people hopefully donating to me in the future, and which I admit does not sound like a reliable way to gain money, but this is just what I've seen YouTubers do to earn some money out of this. I am very sorry. Of course, I don't mean to say those things without doing something in return. I'll just find something that I can provide that is worth being part of the membership or donating to the Patreon for. Also, this is not going to be my sole source of income. I'm planning to take some part-time jobs here and there, and don't worry about overexerting myself, juggling 3 things at once. I will make necessary adjustments where it is needed. Priority, of course, is my studies, and everything else, I'll manage somehow. But I definitely know my limits. I might manage somehow to break those limits or play around it somehow. Also, along with this, kinda want a sub-New Year resolution under monetizing my videos. I also want to start streaming on Twitch. I guess along with this, it is wishful thinking, but perhaps an opportunity to have a sponsored video is likely, since I already clear one of the requirements to put ads on my videos. Sadly though, not the watch time, but hey, it's something. Anyway, so I think this is the last. Oh, it's not the last. This is the second to last New Year's resolution. I just wrote collab, alright. Definitely something I have been keeping at the back of my mind for. I don't know how that'll come to be, but it's something, alright? Again, I want to refer to these videos as a technicality of having already achieved my New Year resolution. Because yes, they were technically collaborations of me and my IRL friends. Still though, to my knowledge, I think I only know a few of my friends that have a social media presence, like a Twitch or YouTube channel. But as far as I know them, they don't cover my current niche. And I don't want to force them to do my bidding. They're busy these days with their own stuff to do, like college and even part-time jobs, so I don't want to intrude on what they got going on. To make it specific, the kind of collab in my head is collabing with someone who is also a YouTuber or content creator. I don't know how they'll come to be, but it's definitely on the list. After all, as they say, it's not what you do, it's who you know. In other words, there's value in networking with people, especially with people who share the same interests that you have too. But like, you know, how the fuck do you do that? How do you social network as an adult? Like, as young as I am and in the position I'm in, it's easy. I can ask for what the homework was, how they did something, ask to be in their group for this one project because it's necessary to be in a group for it, or some other way, like being adopted by an extrovert. I didn't have friends for nothing after all. But that's the thing though, if I want to collab with another YouTuber, that'd be like a stranger asking you in the street to read and buy whatever they're advertising in their pamphlets, unsolicited and a bit of a bother if it's not something I'm interested in. Actually, how do YouTubers even begin that conversation without coming off as someone either taking advantage of you or just plain old fucking creepy? I've had moments before where I wanted to reach out for a collab with someone, but like I had to stop myself when I was making that email to them or that DM on Twitter, because again, how the fuck do you not give off the wrong impression proposing a collaboration with them. When I said I don't know how that'll come to be earlier, I was not fucking joking. I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to make friends on this side of my life. And it's not that it's a big deal for me. I'm perfectly fine doing my own thing. Shit, I can do this until I reach the next milestone I've set for myself this year and maybe for years to come. But that's the thing. The fact that I'm fine with that is kinda sad. I don't think it is. But like, I just want someone to talk to about this side of my life, you feel me? And not in a like businessy kind of way, just someone who happens to be a YouTuber as well, you know? Not a person who's wholly dedicated to being successful in YouTube, just someone who happens to be a YouTuber like I am, you know? I'm a mortal man who is fucking around out and about the places, and it just so happens to be in YouTube that I frequently do my fucking around, and hopefully I find someone who matches that vibe with me and to make videos with too. Hopefully. I have absolutely no idea how this will come to be, but yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for this one. The last New Year resolution. Wow, I got lazy. I got lazy with the title. I just said improve editing style. Yes, I think it's as simple as it gets. I just want to get better at editing my videos. I don't want to do what MrBeast does though, where he optimizes every frame of the video to make sure you stay watching. I just want to do something that looks cool, you feel me? Well, I guess overall the production side of it is what I want to improve more. I think the end goal for me is to hopefully learn how to do 3D animation and somehow use it in my videos. It might be a stretch to say that I might want to get good at it to the point that I become part of some production studios in the future for some films, shows, and whatnot. But what the fuck am I talking about? I just want to make my tin can move and go boing, boing, boing. Plus, I'm trying to be an accountant. What the fuck kind of skill set do I have? It's literally anything. And I'm putting that on my resume. Oh god, no. And that's all of my New Year's resolutions for this year of 2025. I guess it's a bit too early for me to be saying this, considering when I'm recording this, but Happy New Year to y'all. Do you want to get ripped? Do you want another job? Cross out stuff from your bucket list this year? Well, whatever it is, I'm sure you might just be able to get it done. You know what else can be done though? Liking the video, subscribing and all that stuff. Man, that is shameful to say. Anyways, here's to a new year!